Hello and welcome. My name is Melly Rentas, and today I am posting my first video here on my channel. I just wanted to introduce myself and share a little bit about my story. I'm on this journey actually started in September of 2024. There's so much that I want to share, but basically I turned 40 this year, and I remember in January setting the goal. I wanted to get fit at 40, wanted to get fit again, because throughout my life I've kind of yo-yoed up and down. I've struggled in the past with emotional eating and binging. If I restrict too much, I'll touch on all those subjects maybe in a later video. By the grace of God, I've gotten over a lot of that. However, this year in January I said, okay, I want to get fit. I want to drop to a healthy weight. I want to feel better, want to reduce all the aches and pains and all those things that I've been feeling. And I know how to do that. I've done it before. I know I could do it again. I just have to really remain consistent and steadfast in those habits, really. And so what ended up happening was in February of 2024, right around Valentine's Day, I had found out that I was pregnant. And so that was a big old surprise. Kind of a surprise, kind of not. We had been trying for 3 years, and in January I told my husband, hey, I don't want to try anymore. I turned 40. This hasn't happened for a reason. It's okay. I'm ready to, just to move on. We have 2 kids already who are ages 7 and 9. And so I was ready to close that chapter. Come to find out, we're pregnant in February. Fast forward to May 15, I find out that the baby no longer had a heartbeat, and I was actually 15 weeks. It turns out the baby's heartbeat stopped at 13 weeks. So I had to have a surgery the following day. I think I found out the 14th, and then the 15th was the surgery. So I had a D&E, and it was very hard. Again, by the grace of God, was able to work through that grief and find peace and just trust in his plan. Still, grief comes in waves. It's not something that just disappears, but God gives you the comfort that you need. I love that verse where it says, blessed are those who mourn because they will be comforted. And I've definitely felt that a lot over, ever since that happened till now. But essentially, in September I turned 40. And I've been reflecting a lot on this deep desire to just have a healthier lifestyle and prioritize that. I already prioritize my spiritual health, although I could always be better at that for sure, and my mental health. But I also wanted to deep dive into my physical health. And so I had started working out in July using Beachbody, something that I've used forever. I did an at-home workout. It was really fun, really great. I forget the name of the workout that I did. It escapes me. I think it was Lift 4. And I really enjoyed it. I homeschool, so I have that flexibility. I work out at 10. I get to choose the times I work out, choose the times that we're doing school and all that good stuff. So that's a blessing. But I finished that, and then in August, I kind of took a break. I got off social media. I wanted to do like a 40-day fast off of social media and just use that time to do other things. So I took off Instagram from my phone, and that's like the main thing that I use is really Instagram. And then YouTube, I watch videos when I'm doing laundry or cooking dinner, etc. So after I did that, I just decided I'm not going to get back on social media anymore. But at the same time, in August, I kind of stopped working out. I was gonna try to do like an actual spiritual fast where I didn't eat, but with my history of binging and all that, it just wasn't working. And so I decided, prayerfully decided not to do that, and reflected a lot on, what works for me and what doesn't and why. And I've tried a lot of different diets and lifestyles and workouts and this and that. And over the past 20 years, I started when I was 20 and I'm now 40. So yeah, when I was 1920s when I really started working out, eating better, I think around that time, maybe 21. Anyway, I started reflecting on what works and what doesn't. And then back to the main point, one of the things that really does help that I know that I've been lacking is a community that is focused on fitness. And so because of that, I decided to look into different boot camp options near me. I looked into things like F45, CrossFit. There was a 9 rounds that went out of business, unfortunately. I really wanted to do that. And just a variety of like local boot camps. But the problem is I need something that is family friendly or has something for kids, because I do homeschool. So I need that. Ideally, I would like to have the ability to work out at my ideal time and bring the kids with me, and they can, do their school or read or, whatever it is we have planned for the day for them to do. They're old enough to work independently. So long story short, what ended up working out was actually a local CrossFit by me. And I was really excited because they offered intro sessions where the trainer would, teach you how you can scale or modify, teach you all the different moves and all that good stuff. So I ended up really enjoying it. It also turned out like my preference was that it would have mostly women, just so that I would feel just a little bit more comfortable as I'm like learning, the moves and all of that. I had tried CrossFit in Miami before I moved to where I am now, and I didn't like it. It was very competitive. The classes were super full, even at like 5-6 a.m. And the instructors were young in their 20s and pushing me to like go heavier and heavier and heavier, just because like my legs are genetically kind of muscular, I just did not like it, and I was terrified to go to the first session. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it afraid. What do I have to lose? What if I go and I like it? And if I don't go, if I don't go, I won't know. And if I don't like it, I don't have to go back, And so first I did just like a free lesson, and one of the owners was there coaching. And it was perfect. Like there was 2 other women in that class. There were several athletes kind of like doing their own workouts at the same time. And then I was like the newbie. So he just guided me on how to modify that first workout and helped me with my form, and was just a great encouragement. I could tell that he really knows his stuff, even though I'm not like a certified personal trainer or anything. I've been really into working out for 20 years. So there are things that you kind of learn over the years when you do it that long. And so I could see that he put a lot of attention to detail, was really good at modifying. And I think he's also in his 40s too. So at times that could be an encouragement, because it's like, oh, okay, this is an older person who understands the struggle when you're older. I have degenerative disc disease in my neck. I have plantar fasciitis. I've got things I'm dealing with. I'm not 20 anymore. Actually, even when I was 20, I had plantar fasciitis, but I didn't know it back then. So long story short, I've said that like 2 times already, haven't I? That's my story, keeping it as short as I can possibly keep it. I'm really excited to build my strength and build my capacity, not just for cardio, but even for some of the CrossFit specific moves like toes to bar and, snatches and power cleans and all the things I'm still learning. And I want to just share that with you, whoever's watching, as an encouragement, as motivation. And like I said, this is going to be also kind of a selfish pursuit, because there's so many times where I've thought like, what is it that I used to eat, consistently for years and years and years that I enjoyed, and it was filling, it was satiating, and I would work out. What are those things that worked that I want to incorporate or reincorporate into my routine? And what are those things that I did that did not work? I can give you a quick example before we finish. I used to take, high caffeine pre-workout things like C4, and I would take fat burners like Thermo something, I can't even remember. And I remember just not feeling so great on those. I'd get nauseous. I was like nauseous every day. Then by the afternoon, I'd have this crazy slump where I had no energy. I remember like barely being able to lift my arms, and I'm pretty sure it had to do with a lot of these unhealthy supplements that I was taking. So now that I'm 40 and I have just a really different perspective on it, you know, for me, if I want caffeine before a workout, I'm just going to do coffee. I have organic coffee. You know, I know what's going to work for me, not make me sick. And before I even have coffee, I make sure to just eat, you know, a good protein forward breakfast, and with a little bit of carbs and fiber. And I love having electrolytes. You know, that magnesium, potassium, and sodium actually makes me feel really, really energized. And that's just one of those things that I've picked up over the years, you know, way back when I tried the carnivore diet. So I've tried a lot of diets, I've tried a lot of things that I've liked, not liked, things that have worked, not worked. So those are some of the videos that I want to talk about. I want to share with you my story on emotional eating and overcoming that, binging and overcoming that, carnivore, trying it, liking it, but then failing and gaining all the weight back, keto. I mean, the list goes on and on. WW. I can go on for days, but I have a goal now. I need to, I think ideally for my height, I'm like 5'3" 3/4. I'm about 40-50 pounds overweight. And, you know, that's not necessarily the main focus. The main driver day to day is feeling good, making those healthy decisions, making sure I'm fueling my body well so that I have the energy to do all the things that I want to do, like CrossFit, like homeschool, go for walks, learn to jump rope. I'm doing, you know, all those fun things, but then also, you know, just be a good example for my kids too, for my boys. And so that's what this is going to be about. So with that being said, I will end it there. I hope you will join me on this journey if you're on a similar one too. And I'm not so sure how much I'm going to share with like weight and pounds down and all of that. I'll decide as I go, because I know that that's a sensitive topic, not just for me, but for others as well. And I do believe that ultimately, this is one of those things that I've reflected on. The journey is the destination, meaning waking up every day and choosing to have a healthy whole breakfast instead of skipping breakfast. For me, as someone with binge eating, that's the destination. Eating a healthy, protein forward, balanced breakfast. The same for lunch, the same for dinner. Making sure that I'm eating properly and not getting too hungry or too angry or too lonely or too tired. And that's part of the recovery process too. So the journey is the destination, making sure that each moment of each day I'm making decisions that are health forward, faith forward, that will ultimately lead to not only my emotional and mental healing, but also the physical healing that I want. And rationally, right? If I am ensuring that I eat well and I'm not binging and overeating and over-consuming things that make me feel sick, well, with time, my body will lose the, you know, extra fat, especially visceral fat around my organs that, you know, I don't want to have, because I don't want to have fat around my organs affecting the way that they function. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I do have a few videos planned, like what's in my gym bag and a Ross, you know, workout clothes haul. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see those, and I'll see you next week. Bye.